Hi guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to address the question of why I do not have a fuel separator on my engine. You will notice that my pipes run from the mechanical fuel pump right up here, around here, and to the carb. And as some of you will know, I've opted for the T-piece or the T-valve that I've installed in here. This is the pipe coming from the mechanical fuel pump. That's the pipe running to the carb, and that is the return line over there. Now the reason I actually took off my fuel separator because I was experiencing jerking at higher speeds, going over 80, 90 to 120. You would find the car just jerking as if it wasn't getting enough fuel. Okay, let's just turn our attention to the fuel separator. Normally it sits over here with my fingers pointing to just underneath this bracket here, and the fuel separator's purpose was to it was like a reservoir between the pump and the carb, and also its main purpose was to remove air bubbles from the fuel before it actually gets to the carb, basically removing the vapors that would actually develop because of bubbles and stuff like that, and that you don't want in your fuel, because that is what causes the jerking and the fuel starvation. So basically that's what it called, a fuel vapor separator. It separates the vapor from the fuel. But the problem encountered with the fuel separator being so close to the engine, it used to get hot, and getting hot, it used to actually literally boil the fuel in the fuel separator, and that causes issues because now you have just vapor going straight through to your carburetor, and that causes your car to jerk and to cut out and to stall, and that is the reason why I actually took mine off. So that is why I went for this conversion, straight from the fuel pump straight through to the carburetor. And as I said, I have a T-piece inside here, and the fuel return connects to it, and that would ensure that I don't have too much pressure going into the carb. Now, very importantly, if you do that conversion, you must ensure that you have an inline fuel restrictor in the return line. I'll explain that now. What this restrictor actually does is, its purpose is to partially restrict the amount of fuel that goes back to the tank, because if you're not going to have this here, then you're going to have a case of too much fuel going back to your tank and too little fuel actually going to your carburetor. So what it does is, it basically partially restricts, and a little bit of pressure builds up in the line, which causes the fuel pressure to be at its right level. That is simply why I don't have a fuel separator. I've been running this setup now for more than 2 years, and it's running perfectly, no issues.